3 years with the Canon G12 finally have to come to an end. Not because it's not fun anymore, but because the camera has finally failed. One day I zoomed in and the lens didn't retract back when I switched it off, resulting in a lens error every time I turned on the camera. Well, the first thing that came to my mind to address this problem was to change the flat cable. I found one on the marketplace, but there is another flat cable connected to the lens that I couldn't find a replacement for. So here I am, tearing down my camera and deciding not to put it back together again. Instead, I'll store these parts as artifacts, I guess. Maybe I'll need them in the future. I'd definitely buy another G12 if I find one at a decent price. These days, people are selling these cameras like crazy with unbelievable price tags. It's really disappointing because in the last few weeks I've been having so much fun with this camera again, and I found another way to use it that's just perfect. So this video is more of an appreciation post for my old friend, the Canon G12, and why this camera is the most fun I've ever had. So much so that I never sell it. If you happen to own any Canon G series, the G9, G10, G11, G12, G15 or even G16, you should definitely keep it. I've done a lot of experiments with this camera. Some made it to video content and some didn't because I thought they weren't worth sharing. This was my very first camera when I started this channel. Back then, and still now, I was obsessed with film photography, but I believe shooting actual film isn't a sustainable hobby for me. The cost is just too high, and though I still shoot film occasionally. That's where the old camera journey on this channel began. If you have this camera, you know you love the amount of physical control it gives you. You have PSAM mode, a manual ISO dial, an exposure composition dial, a scroller for your shutter speed settings, and an aperture selector. It's perfect. While the image quality is certainly worse than the most modern smartphone cameras, but that's exactly what I'm looking for. As a film-obsessed photographer, I love how these old cameras remove the clinical look of newer technology. In the age of social media, we are often fed hyper-reality, things completely detached from reality. We don't care about reality anymore. Instead, we unconsciously demand perfection. Everyone and everything should look good and decent on social media. If it's your room, you should post a photo of it when it's tidy and perfect, even though 99% of the time it's not that tidy. We don't want to post our table when it's dusty or dirty. But I love exposing imperfection, showing my chaotic room as it is, or dining table that hasn't been cleaned in a while, and many other things. Capturing those imperfections with this imperfect camera is just perfect. For the last couple of weeks, I've been tweaking how to use the camera at its best. It turns out the secret is in the flash, particularly a hard-forced flash. I love how the images look with the flash. The fact that you don't need to make it pop to use it, it's just perfect. It's just right there. You can play a bit with white balance shift to suit your style. This is one of my favorite shots. The cat is obviously not in focus. It's just a quick snap. I love how it blurs out the frame. It almost looks like the cat in the front is taking a selfie with another camera-conscious cat. in the background. This one is also a favorite. You can see how the flash makes it pop. Our cat was having a problem with his right eye. The background is perfect. The dusty table, Formula 1 Sunday race on TV in the background. You know, looking at these flash photos made me think I should have used the camera exclusively with forced flash. If you have any Canon G series, you should try it yourself. There were times I tried recording video with this camera using custom white balance, and it turned out really artistically weird, as you can see. The viewfinder is almost useless, though I still use it sometimes. I appreciate that Canon included it. It's definitely not a true through-the-lens viewfinder, just an optical one without a prism. I think cameras these days should at least include a simple viewfinder like the G12s, instead of only producing cameras with screens. I suppose it wouldn't cost much, since you don't need a prism. Mounting an OVF on the hot shoe isn't cool and is never practical. Having a zoom lens is handy, but there is always the risk that the lens will eventually fail due to movement and retraction. For non-interchangeable zoom lenses like the G12s, if it fails, it's a disaster. I've been researching small cameras with fixed, non-retracting lenses, and the options are limited. You only have the Fujifilm X70 and X100 series, both of which have astronomical prices right now. I do believe the market for small digital cameras with fixed lenses exists. Camera manufacturers just need to embrace it. If you work for or are involved in a camera manufacturer, please consider producing affordable consumer or prosumer cameras with fixed, non-extending lenses. Imagine having an Olympus Miju style digital camera. That would be sick. We all know people love the Olympus Miju. Another thing I really like about this camera is the level of GPA customization. It's not as advanced as Fujifilm's GPA controls, but you still have plenty of options. If you want white balance shift, you'll need at least a G11 or newer models. The G7, G9 and G10 don't have that feature. And yes, with this white balance shift, you can create your own GPAX recipes. I also love the form factor. It's not necessarily big, still pocketable, yet packed with advanced features. Tearing it down made me realize how complicated the design. It's mostly plastic, but they managed to pack everything together in a robust feeling body. The top lid is metal, but the rest is mostly plastic. I believe the camera would last longer if it had a fixed lens, reducing movement and the risk of breaking the flight cables. The flight cable placement, especially around the lens, is highly complicated, as you can see. I guess if you want to keep your G12 alive longer, you need to be gentle with zooming in and out, which can be annoying. Buying a lens assembly for this camera these days costs almost as much as buying another one, so I wouldn't really recommend it. The 1.7 inch sensor is indeed tiny, as you can see, but it's still capable and enough for me. Looking back on how I've used the camera over the past 3 years, I think what I loved most was using it as my daily documentary camera, taking photos when I'm with people I know well, flashing without hesitation, just capturing mundane moments with them. I can't resist saying that the flash really does make them look more filmic. You might disagree with that, or with anything I say, really. The knobs and buttons, the size, the flash, the robustness, the look, and all the practicality, it's just perfect for my daily documentary camera. I've been eyeing the Nikon P7000 or P7100, the G12's direct competitors, but at this point I can't find a decent copy at a reasonable price, and I also desperately want to buy another G12. I do need to keep reminding myself to stay on budget. What do you think? Well, I guess I'll see you in the next video.